There's so many ways to be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready. You just gotta trust the right. Don't have to be scary. You just gotta follow the light. You're able to be happy. You can do whatever.
Alright, so first job on the agenda is we're going to throw in the rear wheel cylinders because I can't put it on wheels to roll it out. I want to roll it outside to do the oil fill because I don't want to spill oil everywhere. So yeah, first job's rear wheel cylinders. It's technically a quick, easy job, but on the old Jeeps, I think it's actually on a lot of old cars, the rear hub is tapered, so you don't actually, there that goes. So you don't actually slide the brake drum off. It's not a takedown drum. So you got to actually undo a nut on the center of the hub, and then you got this big monstrosity puller that bolts onto the hub, pushes on the end of the axle, and hopefully pulls the hub off, which then exposes all the brakes, and I can do the wheel cylinder. So the plan is, like I said, I'll remove the wheel cylinder. I'm going to spray it because the brake lines have been off for 20 years, God knows. So I'll pull the brake lines off and spray all the hard lines out with brake clean before I put all the new rubbers on and wheel cylinders. And then yeah, we can roll it outside and start putting manifold carby and then just go through it all. But I'm going to get started. Alright, one thing I forgot to say I have to do is back the adjusters off for the shoes. So these have two manual adjusters on the back that are on like a cam that push the shoes out to the drum, because the drum was pulling off but now it's hitting the shoes. So we'll back them out. Alright guys, so update. Last little update I did, I was doing the rear brakes. Now, I think I got to the stage, I pretty well had the drum and the hub off, and then I didn't realise battery went flat, so sorry about that. But basically the hub's back on, but it is empty, there's no brakes in there. I'll just grab one of the shoes. So the shoes are completely stuffed. Like there is a little bit of meat left there, but they are falling apart, they're all crumbly. So basically as I brake, they're just going to start peeling off and falling apart, like there's all pieces missing out of them. So look, basically while the hub's off, let's throw a new set of shoes in it. I've got the new wheel cylinder in this side, so wheel cylinder's done there, I just need the shoes. But there's no point in pulling the other hub off until I've got the shoes here ready to go. Same as the front, there's no point in pulling all that off. I have pulled every steel brake line out of it and just cleaned them all out with brake clean, because it has had a remote booster someone's put on it and then it's been removed and all the lines were left empty, so they're all full of dirt. So all the steel lines have been removed, cleaned out. Believe it or not, every flare nut come undone without breaking a line, which is absolutely amazing. Like I didn't even multi-grips, nothing, just a normal open ender, no flare nut spanner. I was completely blown away. Now, so that's all that done. Under the bonnet, I'll give you a look under there. I put some footage over my voice here. So intake manifold is on, new carbies on, plug leads are done, new spark plugs. We did clean all the points, reset the points, new coils on because we converted it to 12 volt from 6 volt. What else is new under there? Bit of vacuum hose, Got to cut fuel filters, fuel line, and just an electric fuel pump because the mechanical pump isn't working, and I don't want to stuff around with that just yet. But today's job is basically put all the brake lines back on, so they're all ready for the new shoes and wheel cylinders and that sort of stuff, and master cylinder, which Marathon is ordering for me now. So I'm hoping, maybe not, it won't be at the end of this video, but there'll probably only be one more update on this and then we'll be heading off. But next video, hopefully all the brakes will be working, new windscreen will be in, and it should be all running, and it'll be ready to go to Camp Coffs. Before Camp Coffs, obviously we'll get tyres, because these tyres are completely RS, but I'm hoping to get to the stage where it is roadworthy and we can get Club Rego on it, so we can putt it around the streets of Glenray, which would be sick. But yeah, so like I said, we'll head off from here and then just fill in some time until Easter weekend for Camp Coffs. But yeah, I'm gonna get in, get the brake lines back on. Alright, so this happened. Basically, I finished putting the brake hoses on, front hoses are on. We had word from Marathon yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday, saying that the rest of the wheel cylinders and shoes, that should be in next week. But if anyone noticed, well, you probably would have noticed, in the footage of it running, it had a misfire. So it's only running on 3 cylinders. So I shut it down, pulled the dizzy cap off, pulled all the plug leads off, cleaned out the dizzy cap, sat down with some sandpaper and brake clean and cleaned up all the points in the distributor to make sure everything was contacting properly because it wasn't spark. So put all that back together, put the battery on, went to start it, and the starter was dead. It was just clunking. So it was acting as though one of the brushes was stuck. So I pulled the starter out, and I don't know how much of this will show, but this is the spring that holds the brushes. So that one's on, you can see that spring working there, holding the brush in. The spring that holds this brush in had broken and fallen in, so as I've hit the starter, it just caused a dead short, and then that dead short melted the wires on these field coils, on these brushes. So this wire was completely melted. So basically, we obviously pulled it apart, and then my awesome soldering technician, sat down and remade the wires for the brushes. And then one of these buzz bars on the bottom had let go as well, so we just resoldered them. So I know it may not be a permanent fix, but a starter, because these run a push lever starter, so I'll show you how that works. So yeah, this bolts into the bell housing, and this lever here is obviously on the top of the starter, and that sits, I'm lost, that way, no, that way, so like that. This switch then sits on top here, like that, and there's a lever that comes through the firewall that looks like another clutch pedal or brake pedal that hooks into here. So as you push on that lever, it pushes this gear out to engage the flywheel, and then pushes on this button, which has a power lead going to it to the battery, which engages the actual starter. So it's a full manual starter motor. There's no solenoids, there's none of that stuff. So basically, we worked out they ran that design only for a year or two, for a couple of years, and there wasn't many in Australia with that. So it's basically to come from the States, and what do we work at? $600
Without any freight.
without postage from the States for a new starter. And then because of the way it's got the manual starter, which my battery post from the field coils comes out at the front, whereas like a military or, you know, any of the CJs and that, the battery post comes out at the back because they haven't got that manual starter, so it's not at the front side. So I can't use a new set of field coils out of any other model. So we will endeavour to get a new starter, but basically it's at the stage now, it's all running and moving. It'll have brakes next week. We're hoping to take it to the military Jeep show at the end of January at the Lamb Potato Festival at YEAR. So we need a starter motor to do that. So we're basically just, yeah, fixing it to what we can and see what happens. But I'm just going to throw this back together and we'll see if it goes up in smoke or whether it winds the motor over.